I'm back again. Welcome to the Arsenal Present. If you're joining me for the first time, do me a favor by liking the video. Very, very important for the growth of this channel. Like the video, very important for us to be pushing the algorithm. Subscribe if you have not subscribed, and make sure your notification bells are turned on. Let me repeat it for those at the back. Like the video, subscribe if you not subscribe, and make sure your notification bells are turned on. So let's discuss the injury blow to Arsenal. Timber, unfortunately, is going to be spending some time on the sideline due to the injury he picked up against Nottingham Forest. We know that before halftime, he picked up an injury, but we're expecting Arteta and the team to actually change him during the halftime break, but he came back and was past fit. According to Arteta, he said during the post-match conference after the 2-1 victory against Nottingham Forest that the medical team passed him fit, but unfortunately, he had that innocuous moment during the second half, and we are hearing he has sustained a significant knee injury. Now, we don't know whether it's MCL or ACL, according to Arsenal. There have been speculations from other reputable journalists, tier 1, tier 2, all kinds of journalists, but we have to go with the news that comes from Arsenal. I get it. Arsenal might be trying to give us a soft landing as a fan, so we don't panic too much, or they might be economical with the truth. I'm not saying that's not possible, because some of you don't believe the news that comes from the official website. You want to believe the so-called tier 1 or tier 2 journalists, which is fair, but we have to go by what is coming from the official website of the club. This is courtesy arsenal.com. Further to a substitution during our match against Nottingham Forest on Saturday, JURRIEN TIMBER received extensive assessment and scans which have confirmed he sustained an injury to his right knee. Now, they did describe the injury. They say he sustained an injury to the right knee. JURRIEN will undergo a further detailed assessment and review with a consultant in the coming days to assess the full extent of the injury. In order to determine the next step, a further update will be provided in due course. Everyone at the club will be focused on supporting JURRIEN at this time. Now, regardless of how you interpret that official commentary or statement from the club, we're not told whether it's an MCL or ACL rather. I say ATL. We don't know. There are all kinds of speculations out there. Let's calm down. We know he's going to be out for months, not weeks, because it's a new injury. This is not time to trade words and cast aspersions. Oh, why did we play him in the second half? We'll have taken him out. Regardless of that, nobody will have known what will have happened. See, analyzing hindsight is very lucrative for us fans, right? Like, no, I'm very, very positive and sure Arteta will not risk it. We have enough on the bench. Why will Arteta want to risk him when we have a deeper squad at the moment? So I'm sure the medical staff checked him during the halftime and they passed him fit enough to come out for the second half. So let's stop this back and forth, blaming Arteta, blaming the medical staff about what happened. These things happen. It's what I'll call occupational hazard. Aside from calling it occupational hazard, right? How many ACL injuries have we had we had during this week? Militao for Real Madrid, Timber, then we had Tyrone Mings for Aston Villa. Now, we have to be fair. The workload on the modern footballer for me is too much. And they don't even have enough break to rest and recuperate appropriately for the next season. After a grueling season, these players have to go to the national team during their break to play. And we have FIFA and UEFA actually bringing more competitions. Now, I get these guys get paid very handsomely, but they are not robots. They are not mechanical belts, conveyor belts. They are human beings. And their body can break down regardless of the money they are being paid. I get it. To whom much is given, much is expected. I understand. But these guys are not robots. They're human beings. And I think the fans should do enough by actually talking about the fact that the player welfare is not being taken care of. It looks like the people in charge of the player welfare are being compromised because they don't actually care about these players. Even during the 2 to 3 weeks of rest or vacation or off-season they have, they are playing friendly matches. They are playing qualifying matches. Like during the last season, there was a World Cup in the middle of the season. These players are playing 60, 50 matches, and they're not having enough rest to recuperate and come back to another great season. So see, the FIFA and UEFA need to actually take a chill break. I get it. It's all about money, but these guys are still human. It's human. They are human. The hypocrisy of this is that those that are actually making the laws, those are actually creating competitions, are not active players. So they do not feel the brunt of what these players are going through. They will tell you they're being paid. I get they're being paid well. But two things can be right at the same time. They're getting paid well, but in my opinion, they're being exploited too. We need to chill. We need to chill the F out. These players are being overloaded, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm wishing JURRIEN TIMBER a speedy recovery. There's no need for Arsenal to rush him back. At least I think Arsenal to go into the market and get him at least a defensive player, maybe a right back or a right-sided defender, center defender. If you can get a player that can play the right back and play the right-sided part of the defense, that'd be fantastic. We cannot revert back to holding. We saw it 2 years ago when we missed out on Champions League when Holding came to the team. We saw it last year again when Silva was injured, Holding to the team. Holding is not that quality that can take us to anywhere. We need to bring in a right back. Fresneda is still available in the market. I think this is that time for us not to push out the cash and get in a right back. Or if there's other options who can play right back and play right center half, we need a player who is athletic, who is quick, who can fit into our system ASAP before the window shuts down. We cannot compromise or try to adapt. We need a body as quick as possible, guys. So Arsenal fans, no need to get overly anxious. I actually believe Arteta and Edu at the current case will do what's needful by bringing in a solid body to replace JURRIEN TIMBER, and we wish JURRIEN TIMBER a speedy recovery. My only fear is that if this injury ends up to be an ACL, he might not have that sharpness, that burst of speed rather, that flexibility, that quick burst within short spaces. That pace might not be as organic as he had it. We've seen it with Bellerin, we've seen it with Van Dijk, we've seen other players once they come back from the ACL, they are not the same. I'm not saying they can't play at the top level, but the pace is not the same anymore. The swiftness, the agility is not the same. But at the same time, we are wishing Timber a speedy recovery, and hopefully he can come back as fit as a fiddle and still maintain his traits. Maybe he will be the exception to the rule, but I am not that optimistic. But I'm very optimistic he'll come back and still play. He will still be very useful, but that pace might not be as explosive as we've known. So, guys, do me a favor, like the video. Very, very important for the growth of this channel and the algorithm. If you are not yet subscribed, I are considering, do me that favor too by subscribing. Make sure your notification bells are turned on. Very, very important. And let me know what you think about this JURRIEN TIMBER injury blow in the comment section. Don't forget to like again, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and turn on your notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.